Testing 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Hey y'all, how are you? Happy Tuesday and welcome to Tuesday's Talk. I got YouTube's membership up and running and realized, thanks to one of my patrons, that once I clicked from unlisted to members only, they can't watch it. I could watch it in the Patreon box, but they couldn't watch it. So I am now saving it. Again, I had to edit it a tiny bit. And I'm saving it again so that I can put it back on Patreon so they can actually watch. Yeah. Now this is green. I don't know why it's not showing up. Let's cut the little light on. I don't know. Maybe it will come out right in editing. But I thought today for the coffee chat that we'd talk about creativity and well-being. February was my month of really concentrating on self-care. And I know that I need to do an update on The Listening Path by Julia Cameron. But to be honest, my gut, my intuition is telling me that I probably just need to do an overall review because I don't want to take up the space for YouTube videos on that when I can just do an overall, I guess in 2 weeks, because this is the 5th week. Next week is the 6th week. So when I finish it, I will give it an overall review. I will say this. It's okay. It has helped me get back into the practice of walking and taking time for myself, going on artist dates. I am doing morning pages in my own way. I'm not doing them Julia Cameron's way. First of all, when I get up in the morning, and before I can even get out of the bed, I have to do stretches. And by the time I'm done with stretches, I'm already awake. I am getting my cup of coffee and coming out here and doing morning pages. And I'm sitting in my comfy chair that eventually I will rearrange and be able to do coffee chats from. But for now, I'm here. Especially now that the warmer weather's gonna be here because the window unit AC is right where that chair is at. So I've got to relocate that chair. So I don't see any point in trying to do morning pages when I very first wake up because I can't move my head or my neck very well until I do stretches. There's no way. So that's one of the things. It's also, as far as well-being goes, actually helped me because it has made me take time for me. The artist dates and stuff have helped me take time for me, and that's been a really good thing. I have actually needed to do that. I once heard somebody say, because we're going to talk about more than just that creativity is actually the ability to observe reality, the reality you're in right now, what's going on, and then imagine how different it could be, and then transform what you imagine into said new reality, a new reality. That's problem solving. I do that a lot whenever something comes up and I'm like, oh, there's got to be another way to do this. And there usually is another way to do it. However, there are some times when we're like, wait a minute, I don't know. But creativity helps us create in our imagination by using our creativity, the improbable possibilities. We can actually think of those by using our imagination that's being creative. And it's raining, y'all. It's raining. So maybe you're going to hear the rain on the tin roof. I think that for many of us, creativity and well-being, our well-being, our mental health, they go hand in hand. Studies have proven that it helps relax you. It reduces stress, that our everyday health and well-being is actually affected by creativity. The act of writing, the act of creating art, painting, listening to music, creating music, playing, singing, dancing, all have been proven to be curative. And I don't know about you, but for me, listening to certain kinds of music is enjoyable. It makes me feel better. When I'm painting, it makes me feel better. When I'm writing, creative writing or journaling, and I feel better. If I'm dancing, I feel better. When I am working on a DIY project, I feel better. I feel accomplished. I can give myself a pat on the back, and I'm like, yes. One, it's that sense of accomplishment, but in the creating and the problem solving, using our imaginations, it actually helps our well-being. I think they go hand in hand. Okay, I'm not sure where I left off, except that I think I was talking about like studies. Some people have linked mental illness or things like depression and bipolar and all different kinds of things, the tortured soul to the creative soul. And though those are sometimes the case, sometimes it does happen. I mean, we have examples of that. For example, Kurt Cobain, Sylvia Plath, Van Gogh, Hemingway, to name a few. So examples of other people who have been extremely creative souls who weren't, who I wouldn't say weren't tortured souls, because can't speak for anybody as far as like what they've gone through. But I would say that there are a lot of creators out there. Maya Angelou. You can tell in her poetry that she's been through some things, but what a phenomenal woman. Most studies have shown, actually, though, in general, that creativity is associated with more positive emotional well-being. That people are actually happier, they have more energy when they have been creative, when they have actively created, especially when they create on a regular basis. And a positive mood is related to creativity. I have been in a really good mood and been super creative. And then I have felt in a bit of a down mood and been creative, and it's lifted my mood up, and then therefore I'm more creative. But I think when we are in creative mode, we're moving towards things. It's a forward movement, it's a forward thought process. For me, it clears my head, it relaxes me, it calms me. It helps me focus and pay attention. I'm more mindful. And according to this professor, who actually specializes in art therapy, Kharija Kamal, she says anything that engages your creative mind is good for you. And what happens in our brain when we're creative? We have increased blood flow, for one. For two, let's say you spent 45 minutes at your desk in your studio creating art. That actually lowers your cortisol level. So without getting into the scientific part of it, I'm going to talk for a minute about the feeling part of it. The more creative I am, the less anxiety issues I have. The more creative I am, the less depression issues I have. The more creative I am, the more that I focus, the less issues I have with ADHD. It doesn't go away. There are still distractions. The squirrels still sometimes run rampant, especially if, say, there's a loud noise or the phone rings or something happens. Like with my live video the other afternoon. My daughter called, and then my whole attention span just went, Sometimes when I'm multitasking, I'm actually doing more harm than good if I spread myself out too thin with the multitasking. I can do like a couple of things at a time. Say one of them's physical and one of them's mental, I'm fine. As I am doing this right now, I am uploading Patreon's version of the coffee chat because I have to post them differently on YouTube. I'm going to have to do the same video pretty much, but one will have a little bit different intro so that it's not exactly the same. And that's okay because I don't mind. It only takes a moment, and I can actually upload them at the same time. I'll get them done and then upload them at the same time, and it's not a big deal. Now that I know. I think creativity is such a big thing. Okay, what I was originally going to talk about was creativity and well-being, but I started part of my conversation and I mentioned Maya Angelou and what a phenomenal woman she was. And it clicked, but it didn't click that it is National Women's Month. It was proclaimed National Women's Month in 1987 officially, I believe. It used to be just a week, and now it's a month. And for those of you who haven't been following me for a long time, I am a big lover of poetry. I am also a big lover of writing. I like fiction and nonfiction, and Maya Angelou is one of my very favorite poets. I like some other ones, but Maya Angelou is one of my very favorite. We're going to talk about all different kinds of things. I think this coffee chat is going to be a mixture of things based off of the fact that it is National Women's History Month, and I am such a huge fan of Maya Angelou, who died way too young. She was like 86 when she died. I thought I'd read Phenomenal Woman, and then I'd continue to talk about well-being, because I think it is important. As somebody who is a very creative person, and somebody who has to really work at practicing self-care, I thought, yeah, Phenomenal Woman. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman. Phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't know about copyright. But there are some places where you can find it. It is an exceptional poem by an exceptional poet. And I have a book of her poetry, but I just went and got it online to read that first part of it. I'm having some technical issues with the air conditioner being on and the microphone picking it up. It's not that bad, but it's bad enough. And now there are all these vehicles that you're probably going to hear, but that's okay. And that's why you see the microphone right here, because of the way my desk is set up. That's the safest place for me to put it and for you to hear me clearly. One of the things that, for me, because it is National Women's Month, and I am just over, just wow. I knew that it was, but it's not in my almanac book that talks about some of that stuff. I guess this was printed, maybe I need a newer version, because this was printed in 2008. So let's see if it has it on March 7th or 8th. International Women's Day. It has it under March 8th for International Women's Day. So we're going to talk about creativity. We're going to talk about some of the ways that I use creativity to help me, and some of the ways that, it helps my well-being. So I like to have inspiration, to have a little bit of something to start my regular day with, not my morning routine, but I'm going to take the glasses off because it's easier to read right now. I need new glasses. I have an appointment on March 31st. Ways to celebrate March. March was originally the first month on the early Roman calendar. Its name honors Mars, the Roman god of war. To honor Mars, it's the almanac month of unleashing your inner warrior on all tormenting thoughts and unfulfilling actions keeping you captive. Liberate yourself 5% more each week from these nuances by striking a warrior pose and sounding a war cry when discouraging forces such are relentless self-judgment, relentless self-judgment, or any external sabotaging agents surface from their pits of destruction. Trumpet war cry example, hey, you can't stop me from doing my creative stuff. That's right, you can't stop me from doing my creative stuff. Creative individuals tend to be smart, yet also naive at the same time. Creative individuals have a combination of playfulness and discipline, of responsibility and irresponsibility. That's Mahaley, and Mahaley. I'm not even going to try to butcher that last name. It's also Humorous or Artist Month, International Ideas Month, International Listening Awareness Month, International Mirth Month, National Craft Month, National Nutrition Month, oh, National Women's History Month, Optimism Month, Small Press Month, Spiritual Wellness Month, Youth Art Month, and March begins in Pisces and ends in Aries. Because it is National Ideas Month, it says to write a list of ideas for how to celebrate International Ideas Month. So one of the things I want to do this month is come up with a few ideas for coffee chats. That might be my Ideas Month. If you want to contribute to that idea, to those ideas of coffee chats, please feel free to do so in the comments. A Save Your Vision Month. Exercise to help reduce stress and fatigue on the eyes. Move your eyes like the movement of a clock or pretend you are watching a tennis match, but just move your eyes, not your head. Do not do this exercise while driving or during job interviews. Close your eyes as tightly as you possibly can. Squeeze the eyes so that the eye muscles contract. Hold this contraction for 3 seconds and then let go quickly. This causes deep relaxation of the eye muscles and is especially beneficial after the slight strain caused by the eye exercises. Blink the eyes a few times. So one of the things I have talked about a lot is how my creativity ebbs and flows. And one of the things for this month, this is tides. Ebbing, what are you letting go of this month? Just a little bit. Flowing, where are you expanding this month? Just a little bit. And then it talks about, like, the flower for this month is daffodil, which is cool. I might draw a daffodil. So today, since it is March 1st, even though I'm in different clothes and you saw me in the video for the YouTube membership coffee chat and the little, yeah, hello. Oh, and I have YouTube memberships is now ready to go, so you can join. Most of my major disappointments have turned out to be blessings in disguise. So whenever anything bad does happen to me, I kind of sit back and feel, well, if I give this enough time, it'll turn out that this was good, so I shan't worry about it too much. William Gaines. Oh, it's National Noodle Month. For tomorrow, though, they talk about Maya Angelou, and it says use Maya Angelou's quote below as starter fluid for writing, art, or collage. Life loves to be taken by the lapel and told, I'm with you, kid. Let's go. Maya Angelou. Life loves to be taken by the lapel and told, I'm with you, kid. Let's go. That's support. It's having somebody beside you. It's being supported. It's having somebody believe in you and companionship. John Irving said, my capacity to be by myself and just spend time by myself hasn't diminished any. That's the necessary part of being a writer. You better like being alone. So it says take some time to be alone with your creative passion, anything from a few hours to a few weeks or months if you can. Write about the whole concept of you. Well-being and creativity go hand in hand with things like artist dates and me time, things like that. As much as I would like to be able to spend all my time being creative, I have a family. I have a husband, my mom and my son live with me, I have a daughter and grandkids, I have other family members. Sometimes it feels like I'm running this long distance race and people keep throwing things at me. And then I'm running around them, or I'm jumping over them, or I'm having to move them out of my way. And that's life. I would love to be able to spend all of my time being creative. Unfortunately, I cannot. And since I cannot do that, one of the things that I decided to do, because I was spending 12, 14, 16 hours sometimes in this barn studio when I was first organizing it, and on and off since when I've had to catch up. Like the other week when we had the power outage, when we had the big winter storm, our power was out for like 5 or 6 hours. It caused some kind of glitch with my computer, and then when I booted my computer back up, it froze in the updating part. So I had to take it to the shop, get it fixed. Quite a bit of money later, it's finally fixed. Only I had forgotten a lot of what I knew how to do in Adobe Premiere Elements on the Windows computer, so it was taking me so long to get stuff done that I finally was just like, you know what, I got the Mac back a little bit earlier than I expected, and I was just like, set it up. My son helped me get it all back together on the desk and everything. Speaking of which, I really need to clean off my desk. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm working on getting caught up, and I'm working. I'm out here till late at night, out here early in the morning, trying to get caught up on things. And I don't mind, but I have to take breaks. I have to spend some time with my family. Hell, sometimes I have to cook dinner and, do dishes and laundry and all that stuff. Taking time for myself whenever I'm behind like that, it's really difficult because I've already got all these things on my list going, what? Oh, God, how am I going to fit that in? But it's time that I have to take for myself. Even if it's just to go to Starbucks and grab me a coffee. This morning I was able to grab one because I had a free one. And that's, but one of the other things is that I've had to schedule things in. So that I don't have to spend so very much time out here. One of the things I wanted to do, I had talked about the standard traveler's notebook. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was have the standard so that I could carry it back and forth. And I also I wanted to use the A6 little sketch journal so that I could document things whenever I felt like it. And it wasn't something that I had to spend a lot of time or a lot of stress worrying about. You can tell which pens I use the most because these are the pens that end up on my desk. So we're going to just chat about that for just a minute while we're doing this as I clean off some of this. So the Uniball eye, it's called the Uniball eye. I think it's a micro. It's like a .5 or a .05, whatever. It's waterproof ink. You do have to let it dry for a few, you have to let it dry for, especially on one-way river paper. I usually let it dry for at least 30 seconds to a minute, or I just take the heat gun to it real quick. But it is waterproof. Stephen Reddy, quite a few other artists use these. I've seen them in their books and in their videos. So here are my TWSBI purple and my red TWSBI Eco, my Diamond 580 ALR, which has that London fog ink in it, and my microns. I use these probably more than any other. So I use the microns, the Uniball eyes. I use them more than probably anything else as far as pens go. I do use the Bic Crystal. I do use that one, can't think of the name of it right now, Bolograph. I also have a, what you call it, Reiki graphic. I have one of their pens. And I like the Hobonichi pens okay. They don't make my writing all that great though, but they work really well for drawing. I like them for drawing. I keep the pens usually in this right here, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get the Black Traveler's Notebook. So many people have the brown one. I'm not a big fan of brown. When I decided to do this, to get these, I knew I was going to need, I like for things to kind of sort of at least complement each other, if not match. This is my Hobonichi AVEC cover. It's the gray croc Moterm. I have my red one, is a different journal in it now. My Hobonichi A6 is in this cover with the little bird with the mail. I love this cover. I wish I had gotten it in the A5 size. But I had gotten the black, and it's got quite a bit in here, so it's quite chunky. I had gotten the black Traveler's Notebook. By the time I finally got around to getting it, it was actually by Traveler's Notebook and Company. It wasn't by Midori anymore. I don't care about that, but just letting you know. This and this, which has water brushes in it, and it has my art toolkit palette, the one that I can take with me. It's the one that I can take with me. A white pen, an eraser. I have a little glue stick, a pencil. I have a washi tape cutter, two different erasers, two different pencils, a purple one, and my Stettler that you can actually sharpen, mechanical pencil, my fountain pens, and I probably should move this to right here so that I can move this to right here. I'm trying to stretch these out, y'all. I'm trying to stretch, oh, and I have this pen, which is black on one end and gray on the other. It's for lettering and for shadowing. So I take this, I have a small back I have a small backpack. It also has like a little pair of scissors and a one of those kneadable erasers and a water spritzer and a pair of tweezers and all kinds of stuff like that in here. So I have, well, right now there's bits of paper in here. I sometimes will throw in the whiskey palette thing. I have a water dispenser or two in here. I have my little tiny palette thing in here if I need it. A thing of napkins and notepads, little tiny notepad. Oh, and some extra film. And an extra, and my Prismacolor eraser. So let's put that, this can go. So I tuck this and this will fit in here and I can take it in and out of the house without taking my big backpack. I can take this in and out of the house. Now if I need to take some of the other journals, I'll just put those, I'll put the stuff in the bigger knapsack. Still put my art stuff in here. So this is the journal and the art stuff. Sometimes I'll grab a highlighter, throw it in there because I need to be creative in home too. I don't always want to be in here. I need to go sit down on the couch, relax a little, watch some TV, and do some journaling. Get into bed, relax a little, do some journaling. Mr. Rockstar is a big TV person. I like certain shows. I like TV, but most of the time, TV is usually, it's usually on a documentary or something that's sort of just educational, or I like the Discovery Channel and the History Channel. I am a big fan of the CW. I like most of their stuff. Used to love more of it, but big Supernatural fan since they ended. I'm okay with the new Charmed, and I am so far liking the new Walker. Jared Padalecki's in that was in Supernatural. I've been watching A Discovery of Witches, and I was watching The Stand. But I'll take this and the Traveler's Notebook, and they go in this knapsack, and I'm ready. Now, the other thing that I'm going to show you, because my knapsack will actually fit in my purse, because I have a whipping post tote, and it will actually fit in my purse. I have the Oxblood red one, and it will actually fit in my purse, and then I can just carry the whole thing into the house. When I have to have the backpack, the bigger backpack with more stuff in it, because this normally stays in my purse anyway. Now that I've got the sketch journal, these fit in my purse just fine. I don't carry that stuff around with me all the time, but I do put them in there when I know I'm going to go somewhere, because I don't go a whole lot of places. So it's usually the doctor, to take my mom to the doctor, go to the grocery store, which I don't bother to take them when I go to the grocery store unless I'm going to go by myself. And I could sit and relax for a few minutes before I go in the grocery store and maybe do a sketch. So I'm going to flip the camera around now so that I can actually show you how I've set this up. In part because I talked about it online and I wanted to show y'all. And in part because I wanted to show you March's setup. I had the footage for the setup. I put it on Patreon in I think their bonus video, but I haven't had a chance yet to edit that, and I figured, you know what, I don't have time to do all of this. Let's just put it all together, because this is about my well-being. It's about being creative. It's about connecting the dots, and as I've been letting things grow organically, this is where I connected the dots and what I've done for myself and how important it is, I think, to do things for yourself. I have these in here. This I cut down to fit in there because of fountain pens. And this I have in there because my back insert doesn't have lines. It's plain Tomoe River paper. So this is my insert with the 12-month, the calendar, and I don't have anything in there for January, February. So it starts with March, and I have my oracle card here for the month, and our time springs forward. We have St. Patrick's Day, we have spring equinox and Ostara, And it is, I need to write National Women's and that History Days on there. So I do have a few things. I drew that. I do have a few things here. I need to kind of do this because if I don't, it's not gonna. Okay, that's close enough to the moon. Back here, I have plenty of room for notes. And where it has the goals, I changed that to focus. And these are my focuses for this month. There's a few other things. I need to finish writing those down. Then I have my books to read, and these are actually my books I'm reading. I might get rid of the two on this side and keep this as books that people tell me about that I might want to read. These are my thankful thoughts, and I need to go in and do my reflection on February here. And then this part right here that I have closed with a little hand, that's for finances, for work and home and stuff. I'm trying to do better with that. And then I have plenty of notes. And then this was sent to me, this postcard, and I like stuff like that. It brings me inspiration. This, I think I got this one. I either got this one from Amy Graham or I got this one when I ordered the shark cup for Shark Week, which is somewhere over there. Okay, so this insert is a Tomoe River paper insert. It's 160 pages. It is the 52 GSM dot grid. It is from Rock Your Notebook. These are the inserts I was waiting on. I got two of these. I did this page. I put a sticker I'd been waiting to use on something. This came with this insert. And I collaged and then watercolored. This is one of my doodles. It's one of the PDF doodles for March that I'm about to give to patrons and to YouTube members this week. This is March right here. This is me stuff, work stuff, home stuff. So personal stuff. All of this, except the washi tape, is stuff that I did. This is my tracker. This is where I'm at right here. This is some notes that I was doing for a coffee chat that has already gone up on Patreon. This is this week and what's going on. And I haven't filled out, I don't really have any appointments. So as I go through the week, I'm going over it the day before because I have things mapped out in the Hobonichi Cousin for work. So I'm just kind of doing that because like at the end of this month, I have an eye doctor's appointment. And I need to get a little bit ahead, so I'm kind of mapping out my personal time and my work time. But I can take this with me, and if there's something going on, I can look and see. It's okay if it has work stuff in it too. I'm fine with that. But this is a sort of an everything. So this is today. These were the notes for the coffee chat for the YouTube membership and Patreon. And I did a coffee chat about do your thing, and that's what that is. There's no right way or wrong way to journal. I think the most important thing is why you're journaling. And then that your journal and journaling brings you joy. That it makes you feel happy, that you can have fun and do your thing. So I have put a quote by Austin Kleon from the book Show Your Work. I have some notes over here. I put this here. And then this is part of the notes for the YouTube coffee chat that I'm doing right now. And then back here, this is so that when I'm out and about, I can actually put things in this. A leaf, a flower petal, something. This is for things that I might want to put in my journal. And this is the journal. And this is just my fun where I can put pictures and do watercolor and throw things down because I'm not really putting this kind of stuff in my sketchbook. And I don't want to put it in the Hobonichi too much anymore unless it's something that comes in that's specifically for, say, a review or whatever. I could have put the micron pens in the Hobonichi Avec because these are for me to do my work stuff with. I finally got a new one. I broke down, and this one had the 10 and the 12 size in it, so I was pretty cool about that. Got new floor mats for the Forerunner because it didn't come with any, and inserts came in the mail on this day. And I need to back journal a little bit, and then I'm probably going to do one for just the weekend of the end of February, and then I have some stuff I need to do for, for maybe today, I don't know. But I don't have to journal in here every day, and some days it could be like a day, or I could do a whole spread for a week. I'm just journaling, and I'm dating things. So it's not necessarily where I have to do something. I'm not pressuring myself to do something every single day. I have enough of that everywhere else that I don't really need it in this journal. So this is what this is for back here, because this is not dot grid, it's plain. Beautiful, beautiful Tomoe River paper. And then this I usually stick right in here so that I have it. And that is pretty much everything. I've got the calendar, I've got the notes journal, more like a bullet journal insert, and notes and research and ideas and stuff back here. And then I have the journal entry, insert entry. I have the journal insert where I actually do art and pictures and words and whatever. Sometimes it'll be watercolor background with some text. The middle insert is more like, I guess, a bullet journal kind of insert. That and this go with me. The only thing is I wish this was not gold. I wish this was silver, and then it would really match, but that's okay. And I also have the Peg and All canvas one that I could use as well. So, and it has the silver on it. So creativity for me, having something that I can take with me on the go, that I can take in the house, because I'm putting, and maybe it's redundant, but I'm putting the same stuff in here, just the to-dos, and maybe I'm putting the notes, like a little note to self on the pages in here for the day. And then the bigger stuff where I work out things, it actually goes in the Hobonichi Avec for that daily page. So today, my long list of to-dos went, my long list of to-dos is right here. Now, I don't have anything for Sunday. I've got to go back in and put the stuff down. This is my Hello March page, and I'm going to be putting some things there. These are my PDFs. And I have things all right here. Now, I also have things in the weekly where I already have a list of things. That's already up. I'm working on this. And I was going to do week 4 of the listening path. But like I talked about, so I'm going to white that out and change it, because I'm going to be doing that at the end of the month. So I wanted to talk about, because one of the things that the listening path has really done for me is help me with my creative well, with refilling my creative well, with listening more to my own intuition and trusting in my intuition. It's also helped me get back into walking more. It helps me think. I'm actually thinking about doing a walk and talk at least one time a month for Patreon and for YouTube memberships. And if it keeps up with this air conditioner being very loud in here, because I have to cut it off, see, it's chilly in here when it's on. And right now it's okay in here. But as soon as I quit recording, I will start editing, and I will put my headset on, and I will be doing the editing with my headset on, so that the air conditioner doesn't bother me, because it's picking up in the video, even though this is not really supposed to pick up stuff from this side, it's still picking it up because it's loud. So that's the dilemma, y'all. It's a dilemma. The heater wasn't that bad, but the air conditioner, I don't know how people are doing it. But anyway, yeah, so I can cut it off while I'm filming. And I don't, because I have enough kind of sunlight kind of coming in, natural light, and I have the track lighting, and I have the webcam that I have has a little ring light around it. So I'm okay for now, and I can edit some to make the color look a little bit better in the editing. It's actually helped my well-being, and I feel better. I feel more creative and more inspired by reading it, but my listening skills, I'm not so sure about that part, but it's been an interesting read so far. It's been an interesting read, and it has been helpful, just not quite in the way that I thought it was going to be.
file.